Assemblies 2022-2023, Volume 2, stands committed to the Public Accounts Committee for information purposes. The Auditor General's report on the county governments, the County Executive 2022-2023, Volume 1 stands committed to the County Public Accounts Committee for information. The Auditor General's report on the county government's revenue funds of 2022-2023 stands committed to the Public Accounts Committee for information purposes. The Auditor General's summary report on the county government's revenue funds of 2022-2023 stands committed to the Public Accounts Committee for information. The Mangelete Wetland Ecosystem report stands committed to the Committee on Environment and Climate Change to consider and report to the Assembly within 21 days. Chairperson, Joint Committee on Gender, Youth, Children Services, and County Delegated County Legislation to table a report on the Makueni County Empowerment Fund Guidelines of 2024. Chairperson, Gender. Chairperson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we pray that you let us table that report on Monday, 2:30.
So directed on Monday at 2:30. Chairperson, Joint Committee on Gender, Children, Youth, Social Services, and Delegated County Legislation to table a report on the Public Finance Management Act, the Makueni County Empowerment Regulations Fund of 2024. Chairperson Jeda. The first one was guidelines. Now this is regulations.
Same, Mr. Speaker.
Monday at 2:30. Directed. Chairperson, Committee on Health Services to table a report on the lack of medical supplies in health facilities in the county, particularly in Elima Ward. Chairperson, Gender.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the Assembly, the report of the Committee on Health Services regarding the lack of medical supplies in health facilities in the county, particularly in Elima Ward. I lay.
Chairperson, Committee on Budget and Appropriations Committee on the Makueni County Financial Year 2024-2025 Annual Development Plan. Chairperson, Budget.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. As I said earlier during liaison committee, I've not received reports from the sectoral committees. I would like to get their inputs in this document before it is laid here or tabled here for discussion. I therefore, Honorable Speaker, request that we be given time because we are going to have a consultative meeting together with the supplementary budget maybe next week, and then we'll report the coming Monday to this Assembly, Honorable Speaker. Thank you.
Provided the report on the ADP. Please kindly expedite that in your committees and chair budget, ensure the ADP report is submitted within 14 days. Chairperson, Committee on Devolution, Public Participation, County Administration and Special Programs to table a report on the consideration of the report regarding the acting appointments by the County Public Service Board. Chairperson, Devolution, Public Participation, County Administration. Chairperson. Vice Chairperson. A member of the committee.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We request to be given some more time. We can table it on Monday, 2:30.
Monday at 2:30?
Yes.
Okay, directed. Chairperson, Committee on Lands, Urban Planning and Development to table a report on complaints against the Registrar of Lands in Makueni County. Chairperson, Committee of Lands. Chairperson, Committee of Lands. Vice Chairperson, Committee of Lands. I can see. You want to respond on that? Or you are?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. About the Lands Committee.
About the Lands Committee. Honorable Musa, you want to respond on the same? Okay. Okay.
Mr. Speaker, we request that we table the report on Monday at 2:30.
So directed Monday at 2:30. Chairperson, Committee on Infrastructure, Transport, Public Works, Housing and Energy to table a report on the Makueni County Energy Plan 2023 to 2032. Chairperson, Committee on Infrastructure and Transport.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. The report is ready but not adopted. We request to do that on Tuesday morning hours. Thank you.
Member Fonsoki, did you want to say something?
A point of order, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, please.
Mr. Speaker, I'm afraid there are members of this House who are not open days, and I would like you to give us direction on that matter.
Members of this
The
House.
member for Tange, the member for Mbitini, the member for Masongal. There are so many, Mr. Speaker. This is absurd.
They are? Please.
Not properly addressed.
They are not properly addressed. Member for, you said member for?
Member for Tange.
Sorry.
Member for Tange, member for Masongalendi, and member for Mbitini.
Member for Mathank, in that order.
Yes.
Yes, thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I'm well dressed. Honorable Speaker, you can confirm. You know, most of the business which we do here, Honorable Speaker, we get it from the Senate and the National Assembly, Honorable Speaker. So, Honorable Speaker, my colleague from Zakeka can confirm that our senators and our MPs, and I can mention a few of them, they dress in smart Kaunda suit, like I have done today, Honorable Speaker. So, Honorable Speaker, I'm well dressed, and the member can confirm. Senator for Kisii, Senator for Tharaka Nithi, Senator for Narok, they dress in counter suit. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Member for Mbitini is absent. Member for, the other one was member for Masongaleni. Thank you. That the two members are not here. A member for Thanke. If the House remembers very well, the same point of order was raised against you in this same assembly. You remember? Member for Thanke. And you are fined totally out of order by this same assembly. This is the second time that a point of order is being raised against you on the same. Therefore, this member for...
Mr. Speaker, if I may contribute on the same matter, this is a matter which has come to this House severally. And actually, as he raised the issue, quite a number of milestones have taken place within the National Assembly, the Senate, which happens to be our yardstick of our County Assembly. When you read the standing orders, at the bottom of where it talks about the dressing, it talks about a suit. Counter suit is within the category of suits. It talks about a tie. We are in Africa, where our dictation of dressing is not determined by the white man's dressing. We have African attires. Mr. Speaker, let me finish up. Protect me, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, protect me. You give me time so that I can express myself. Protect me.
Proceed, member.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So I am saying, Mr. Speaker, as much as you have ruled on this matter, is the high time as our House we need to sit down and describe our mode of dressing so that we can embrace our African way of dressing.
Noted.
Even if it's not today, we need to come up with a structure of dressing. I would wish also to come with a kitenge, because kitenge is also well recognized within the African context.
Noted. Member for
Thank you,
Ilema.
Mr. Sir.
Member for Wayakako.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I don't know which point of order was being directed to each person in this assembly. Honorable Speaker, we are getting tired, and I think it's the high time now we end our section at that moment. The most important thing was about the supplementary budget, which you have already tabled.
Member for
And we
Kakoya.
can meet on Monday for other
You are out of order.
for other matters, Honorable Speaker. Thank you.
You are out of order. Member for Wayakako, you are out of order. Member from Mabindini.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I agree that sometimes back, the honorable member for Bunge are done the same mistake. But Mr. Speaker, he has confined to me that, confidently that he was in another function at Bunge Ward this morning, early this morning, Mr. Speaker, and he is properly dressed. Mr. Speaker, he has said he was adding up so that we can do business, because for the last week, and this week, Mr. Speaker, this assembly has never convened, Mr. Speaker, and I thank the honorable member for Bunge because he managed to travel from Bunge in another function, and Mr. Speaker, his clothes, the suit, the shirt, and the tie are the dry cleaner, Mr. Speaker, and it is closed. So, Mr. Speaker, I request you find him totally out of order, but Solomonically, Mr. Speaker, because of quorum, and we have a lot of business before us, you allow, and also I support the sentiment raised by the member for Ilima, that we need to review our standing orders so that, Mr. Speaker, at least sometimes we can come to this assembly a bit relaxed. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I beg you.
I hear you, member from
Thank you,
Mabindini.
thank you, Mr.
I hear you, member from Mabindini. Minority Leader.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to be very brief. Honorable Speaker, we have speaker's rules, and we have been given an opportunity by the standing orders to change those rules, and the standing orders as well to befit what is expected of this assembly. Honorable Speaker, this is not the first time a member chose to dress the way he wants, or using his choice, Honorable Speaker. This is not the first time, but always, whenever somebody tries, they are always chased, and the repercussions are very dire. One, you will be chased the first time. The next time, you are given 3 days, 3 sitting days. I don't know whether my friend, the Honorable Member for Bunge, knows that. The moment you are chased for the first time, you will not bear the consequences. But the second time, you will skip this assembly for 3 continuous sittings. I remember the Honorable Member from Kako, Honorable Mutindi, was chased at some point, and she left this assembly, and we had a retreat that weekend, and she was not able to be part of the retreat. It is very dire. But the members here, because we are legislators, we have been given an opportunity to change what we want, because it is the rules of the practice against what is. And going straight to the assembly, even in those counter suits, the hustler suits, I can see it's a hustler suit. Honorable Speaker, that was a good thing to come to have the quorum here, but it is a big choice for him to see whether he will be part of the next 3 sittings, 3 sitting days. I am not sure, because I remember the first instance, he was chased away from this assembly. But he never came to us to ask us What happens if I come for the second time? So when you come for the second time and you are chased, it is 3 sitting days. I don't know which choice you will make. If I was him, I would have rushed and
Thank you. Well,
waited in at the gate. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and make the best choice for this assembly, and then it will be better for everybody. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, a point of order that has been raised by the member for Nsawe Kilili on the dressing code of member for Thanke Ward. And as I have indicated earlier, this is the second time it has been indicated by the minority leader. And the same point of order is raised against the same member for the same dressing. And therefore, other members who have contributed, some have walked away, the member for Ilima, that there has been no decision, neither an amendment, to change the circumstances under which the first time the member was found to be out of order. Therefore, to be very brief, the member for Thanke, you are still completely out of order. Because that time, the Speaker's rules were read to you members, honorable members, and they were made available to you. And on page 7, there's an anecdote describing the properly dressed as indicated in the Speaker's rules, and that you must be dressed in a coat, a collar tie, long trouser, socks and shoes, or service uniform, or even a decent national dress for the same. Therefore, that time that counter suits would be declared a national dress, then we will think of admitting you to this assembly. Therefore, I want to direct for the leniency of the sacrifice that has been mentioned by all the contributors, that you have tried to travel all the way from Thanke, but next time it won't be that lenient. Please, I would like to ask you, and member for Kikumbulio and minority leader, in this assembly we do not chase members away. We only suspend them. And therefore, I wish to declare that you are suspended for the remaining session. Please, you can proceed for the remaining session, but take note what you have been taken through by the minority leader. That next time, the 3 days may not be as easy as just walking out. Might be a bit difficult. And the third time, or the fourth time, might be more difficult for you. And therefore, proceed, member for Thanke, and take note of that. Thank you. Next order. Okay, minority leader, please.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. What happens with the members who walked out? Because immediately they saw Honorable Muso, the Honorable Member for Kilele standing, they left immediately so that they are not caught up in that tussle. So, Honorable Speaker, we need the rules. You know, these houses are house of rules. It is not easy for us to put on these ties, but we must put on the ties because we swore to walk by the rules, Honorable Speaker. So I saw the Honorable Member for Masongaland was in a T-shirt, And I saw him while he was bowing at the entrance there, Honorable Speaker. And it is very funny, if members of public can see we are not serious enough to be members of this assembly, Honorable Speaker.
Minority leader, is that a point of order or a point of information?
I'm informing you.
Okay.
I'm asking you what will happen with those members, the member for Bitini and the member for Masongaland. Because we saw them and they were boarding at the entrance and he was in a T-shirt. Then on top of it was a tie. So, Honorable Speaker, those are the things. These are very serious house. You cannot be elected to this assembly and you display some weird characteristics, Honorable Speaker. It is not cool for us. It is not cool for anybody. Even the members of staff here, I see them. They are always in ties. I am surprised. How can a member walk around here and still choose to get into this chamber without being properly dressed, Honorable Speaker? What are we telling the public? What are we telling the people who elected us? What are we telling the people who have confidence in us, Honorable Speaker? It becomes a big question to all of us. Now, when one member misbehaves, it means the whole assembly is at disrepute, Honorable Speaker. It becomes a big problem for all of us. We need to be serious as members of this assembly. You cannot be a member of this assembly and you behave like just somebody who is loitering in the streets, Honorable Speaker. Those are the things we need to know. Because you cannot legislate if you cannot follow these rules. And people are looking at us. We are public. I remember the first time when this constitution was passed in 2010, Honorable Speaker, we had a caucus for people of Lower Eastern at Manzon. And Mutula Senior, the late, may his soul rest in peace, told us, when you are a public officer under this constitution, you must behave as a public officer, whether in public or in private, Honorable Speaker. So now, when we see members here who have been elected, they have a privilege of representing people of their wards, the Honorable Speaker, here, and they fail to follow simple codes of conduct here, Honorable Speaker. And I have not seen a high-ranking member dressing just like that. Why? Because there is some bit of...
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I beg to give notice of the following motion, that this Assembly adopts the report of the Committee on Health Services regarding the lack of medical supplies in health facilities in the county, particularly in Lima Ward, laid on the table of the Assembly on 20th November 2024.
I'll give you the opportunity. Member from Avendini, please, just allow her finish. And I give you the opportunity. You are through? Yes, member from Avendini, proceed.
Mr. Speaker, I would like to inform the House that I don't believe there is quorum for this Assembly to proceed. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Sergeant at Arms, please ring the quorum bell for the next 8 minutes.